Hey, and welcome to Kotesto. This video, we're going to be discussing SSB4 and features within the gameplay. I have 16 additions and changes, so let's get started. Intro to stages. You remember how in Melly's adventure mode, you saw clips of the stage before actually going through it? I would like 3 seconds or so of that kind of thing, or maybe even more creative before each battle. For example, if this were to be done in Green Hill Zone, we'll see all of the stage beyond what is playable, as if we were running through it like Sonic. That would be about 4 seconds long. After that, the character intros begin as the countdown initiates the battle.
The recovery platforms change from stage to stage in order to suit it. They could be like barrels, but I would prefer if every stage were different. Items also adjust to the stage. Each stage only has about 6 items that will appear in it. After unlocking the item switch, you can then turn on a lot more. However, there are still some exclusive items and some items that won't appear in a few stages. The beam sword won't appear in a Yoshi stage, and Hothead won't appear in a stage like Bridge of Eldin. A smash gauge.
The purpose is not to give you a final smash once you filled it up, but rather the power of your final smash, once you get it, depends on how filled your gauge is. It'll appear along with your damage, and for example, Sonic gets more time in his super form, and Kirby does more damage and receives better items. If your gauge is too low, you can't even use your final smash. You can still prevent your opponent from getting it though. Fill up your gauge by attacking and scoring KOs. Your gauge can also be lowered, but at a much lower rate than it is ever rated.
The smash ball did not work well for all stages. Some stages might use the Dragoon method instead. You basically collect 4 pieces. A character has a less chance of dropping one of the larger pieces. The third method is key and gate. Grab a key item and bring it to the gate that appeared. And of course, try to prevent your opponents from doing the same. Pick up an item while holding one and you will save it. Some items like hammers can't be stored. You only store one at a time. Taunt to use the item you have stored. Items cannot be stored if you have a Dragoon piece or something like that. In team battles, if you have no item stored, then you can use your teammates. Also, if your team has all the pieces to an item collectively, the person with the majority will automatically reap its rewards. Each character has 2 intros. The first would be generic for all characters from that franchise. For example, Bowser hops out of a pipe. The second would be more dramatic and more attention-hogging. Pikachu jumps out from a Pikachu balloon. This is called an all-star entrance, and the winner of the previous match will get to see his, or hers. Bonus mode returns, but not as elaborate as it was in Melee. Simple things like crowd cheering and double KOs will earn you extra points. The scale will still be within the single digits. It's not even a mode this way, it's just a switch for timed or coin mode. Speaking of which, coins are replaced with smash orbs, perhaps invisible ones at that. Special smash is not separate, rather it's just another page of settings. You can adjust the frequency of stage gimmicks the same way you adjust the item frequency. So you can make Norfair's lava actions occur once in a while or nearly constantly. You can set a stock limit within a timed match. The default time limit is 2 minutes and 30 seconds or 2:15. I feel like 2 minutes almost always ends the match with an even score, but one person almost about to fall. But you know that could be just me. Choose up to 3 characters before a match. After 2 falls, you switch which character you are. Good for long matches, and it's after 2 falls so that Pokemon Trainer might use all 3.
A fall will not always lead to a KO. At some edges of the screen, only ever at the bottom and at lower corners, you will collect damage instead of losing a life or a point. How much damage? As little as 50, but as much as 100. If after collecting the damage, however, you reach 150 or above, it will indeed count as a KO. When you return, you will not be able to stay on your platform, and you will not have that moment of invincibility. In addition to choosing a computer's difficulty, you will also choose their behavior. You will have to get to know 3 different computers that will attempt to emulate different types of human players. For example, one CPU name will much rather go after who is at high damage. Another likes to take out the seemingly strongest opponent. This CPU will go as far as to take note at which player wins most of the matches according to the record.
You can save your game mode preferences. This way you won't have to adjust it each time you turn on your game. Just choose Freddy's preference or Kote's preference.
And that's all for now, but expect more videos of this kind. I have a lot more features to discuss, including the story mode, and yeah, just a lot, alright? So, subscribe. 2 videos will come out every week, or more.